Alright everyone, so here we have my 19 Honda Talon. This is number 429, and we reached our 100-mile first maintenance interval, so we're going to go ahead and do an oil change on her. Gotta check the valve lash, change the front and rear diff wheels. Got some GN4 1030. Got our oil and DCT filters. Our engine filters in here, DCT's in there. Pretty hard to mix that up. Here's our check level, and then up here in the rear, this is our fill port right there. So we're gonna start her up, warm her up. Let me show you the drains real quick. Oh, okay. So. I hope that doesn't mess it up. Okay, so right here is our sub transmission, so that's our transfer case. We're not going to mess with that. We'll check the oil. That's what it says to do. Here's one oil drain port right there, and there's another one right there. So there's two. There's one for the tank and one for the case, because this has a dry sump system. So you need to make sure that you drain both the case and the tank. Or the tank and the case. I'm not sure which one it is. I haven't seen an exploded view yet. But either way, so here's what our under chassis looks like. You can see we've driven her pretty good. This plastic actually holds up rather well. I bent that lower control arm, that lower lateral link there. You can see I put a sleeve on it. Other than that, she's fared pretty well. The only real complaint I have, which isn't really that big of a complaint, but when I was washing it, I was using a power washer to flake the paint off of this trailing arm here. So I'm gonna have to sand that down a little bit and put some coating over it. But either way, first things first, we gotta start her up, get the engine warm. That way, whenever we drain our oil, we get it all out. Okay. And as you can see, the sun's in a bad spot, I guess, huh? So we're at 109 miles, and our service interval. So that's the tank of fuel was 73. 15.2 hours. And we're -9, so we're 9 miles over. You can see our maintenance indicators flashing, and that's letting us know that we're past due. Right? Yep. We still have 5 hours to go, but we're over our 100-mile mark, so that's why it's still flashing. So we're gonna let it warm up. Go ahead over a 2-hour temperature, so the temperature is still low. We'll let it warm up. And then we'll go ahead and drain our oil out. I'll show you that. Here's a little speaker I got. It's a JBL. Yeah, JBL. I'm gonna work on wiring up a USB port also. So that's just a single USB. It's got a little LED around it. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put it. Maybe somewhere back here. Right here, this is where your relays and your fuse panel is. Right back here. It's easy to remove. So that's where those are all your fuses, and then your relays. So we might put it there, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. Then your battery's right down in here. Pretty simple access. I'm not gonna take it off because it's not clean. I don't like to open panels when the buggy's still muddy. That's what the other thing, you gotta make sure I cleaned off all the surrounding areas to prevent dirt from getting inside whenever I do. All right, so we're back. We got her up to 2 bars. That's her normal temperature. We're gonna go under. So you need a. This is all you need for the drain plugs, anyway. Then you're gonna need a 10 mil for the filter cap. Pretty simple. So we're gonna go under there, crack our bolts loose, drain our oil out into our nice clean pan, so we can check it. See if we have any shrapnel. Any colors. So I'll be right back. Alright, so we cracked it loose. I'm winding her at. How much oil do you think I'm gonna get on my hands? A lot? A little? Oh! Not too bad. Got a little bit on there. It's pretty nice oil, I'll tell you what. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Hopefully we don't overfill our pan. Takes 6 quarts. This is a 6-quart pan. So we'll see. We still got another plug to go too. I don't know, find out. Huh. Okay, I'll be back when it's done. Alright. So, as you can see, there's a 6-quart system. That's just about 4 quarts. So I'm gonna say that was the tank. So our rear one is our oil tank. So that means our forward one will be our case. So this is a 17 mil. The tank was a 12 mil. Make sure whenever you put it back up, you got your washer, your crush washer. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain this one, and then I'll be back. All right, folks, here you go. This is gonna be tricky. I'm upside down. I gotta wind this sucker out. Without, I'm gonna try and not drop it, or get a whole bunch all over my hand. I don't know how much of either of those is gonna happen, but, oh, nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, so there's not nearly as much in this one as there was the other one. Oh, let's slide this over a little bit. Catch that. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna let that drain out. I let it go down to a trickle just because I want to make sure you get it all out. That's why we heated it up, because the viscosity, you know, everything thins out when it's warm. So we're gonna go ahead and let that drain, and then I'll show you removing the filters, and then I'll show you filling it back up, and then we can start it. Make sure our oil light goes out. Da-dee-da-dee-da. And then maybe tomorrow I'll take a video of valve lash check, because we have to do that on our first service also, and we still got to do the rear and forward diffs. But yeah, you know, we're on the way. Alright, so we got both our drain plugs back in, torqued to spec. You know, using our handy dandy cha-kink. This oil looks pretty good. I'm gonna pour it out later into the can and make sure there's nothing sitting at the bottom, but looks good for now. Okay, so now we gotta take out these 3, tink tink tink, and then these 3, tink tink tink. Or those 2, sorry. Yeah, 3 then 2. Come on, phone, focus. No? Maybe got some oil on it. Huh. I don't know what's going on with that. A little strange. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't want to focus. I'll click this button. There we go. Autofocus, duh. Alright, so those are 10 mils. We're going to go ahead over our handy dandy toolkit. Oh, and we're going to grab a 10. And we're going to wrench this guy off. Wrenchy. Go ahead and slide our drip pan under there, because I know it's going to leak a little bit. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to loosen these guys up, and then I'll come back and show you the removal. I've never taken this off before, so I'd like to have both hands while I do it. I believe there's a spring in there. I believe there's a spring on the back side of the plates holding the filter towards its housing, or into the housing. That way the O-ring or grommet or bushing or whatever you want to call it seals, so you know you don't get any bypass. Or maybe the spring is for the bypass in case it was clogged. I'm not sure. But either way, okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so we got our 3 bolts out. It doesn't want to just fall off. So what I'm going to do is rotate it so that these ears are not behind their, you know, mating surface. So I'll have something to pry on a little bit. And that's how I'm going to pull it off. And be careful, you see. Alright, so we just pulled it off. This is what you see. There's our O-ring right there, sealing O-ring. There is a spring. And it's worn out. Set that down over there. Got our spring to ding. That goes down there. And this guy, I'm not sure. Okay, yep, there he comes. Looks rather clean. That's a good sign. We got some paint or something in there. Some orange, red. Yeah, it looks like there's somehow we got some paint in the crankcase, but other than that, she looks pretty good. This kind of look like metal fibers in the camera, but they're not. I don't always look through the camera, but I don't know if I can say this. It helps. Alright, so there's our housing. Filter housing. Ooh la la. Would you look at that? Alright, okay, so yeah, there are two pumps. So the oil comes from the outsides and then it goes through the filter, through the hole. You know that because the mesh, can't really show you inside there, but there's a cage and then the filter wraps around the cage. And the cage is on the inside so that the pressure, if it does clog, won't collapse the filter because the pressure is coming from the outside. And that's just like all your automotive oil filters also. They do the same thing. Okay, so that's that. We're gonna go ahead and put our new ones in. The DCT is gonna be the same. I'll come back after I've changed both filters and we fill it up. And I'll show you how to check the level, I guess. So, okay. Alright, so we got that done. Both filters are changed. Here they are. This is your transmission. It's a little dirtier than the, I guess it looks the same in the camera, but it is slightly dirtier. Just, I mean, by a female body part, hair. So, I gotta throw this little trash away. Taking you on a ride. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I know it takes 6, you know, how much came out of it. Take a gander at that. Okay, so we need to put about the same in. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a whole one of these in, and then I'll check it on a dipstick, and then we'll see how much we need to add. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and here's our handy dandy funnel that we made. Go ahead and pour our 710 in there if I can with one hand. I don't know, it's gonna be tricky. Trying to figure out my best option here. Bam, there we go, huh? How about them apples? So like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and pour this whole entire thing in first. And then we'll check it. And if we're too high on the stick, what we're gonna do is start it up. Let it idle for a second, shut it back off, because then that'll go ahead and allow the pumps and the scavenge pumps. Like I said, it's a dry sump system. It will allow them to fill our cavities. And then we can check it properly. Okay. That's that. Get the cap back on there. Now we can pour all the dirty back in there and dispose of it properly. No, we do. We actually have a waste oil burner, but either way. Alright. So, come on down here. She's long. A little longer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just wipe off the area around here before we go any further. Okay. Go ahead and wipe our dipper sticker. There's a small area there. I don't know about on this thing, but I know with cars, between the high and low mark is a quart. I highly doubt that's going to be the same with this, but it might be. I don't know. But you know what, actually it says, I read the service manual, it says not to screw it down. So we are fully on the stick. That's good. However, we need to start it. Okay. So now, let's look down in there. This time we'll thread her down. We'll fire it up. Fire it up. Yeah, we don't want any blow-by throwing oil all over the place, so we'll go ahead and plug this one back up to you. Okay, now your oil light's going to be on for a little bit longer than it normally is. So we're going to find that. Okay, there's our oil light right there. Okay, slightly longer. That was good though. It went out. Got to pump all that oil around. Okay, now we'll check her again. And I bet you it's not the whole way up on that stick. So we gotta wipe it off first, you know. You should know that. If you don't know that, then you shouldn't. Well, now you do. Maybe that's why you're watching this video. Guess I can't blame you for that then, huh? That's why you're still watching the video. That's why I'm still taking the video. Oh, you know what? I made my own mistake, huh? So used to doing it. But look, either way, even though I threaded it the whole way in, there's nothing on it. So there you go. There you have it. We gotta add some oil. Alright. Now I'm gonna go ahead, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour a little bit, check, pour a little bit, check, pour a little bit, check. So you're gonna do the same. You're not gonna see this because I'd like to get it done. Alright, so fun fact. I didn't realize this. I figured this was the same as automotive, but hey, guess what? So this is only 4 quarts. You know, that says 3. Make that about 4. Which means we need 1.5, which you can see now we have a little over 1.5. So when I first started it, we were actually only running on 4 quarts, which was 2 quarts low. But as we saw when we drained the tank, we had 4 quarts in the tank, so which means the tank only had 2 quarts in it. So it still had enough. So it's good. So yeah, now we know, right? That's why it's important to check. Alright folks, well, I don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and change the diff. Let me show you that real quick. Okay, so here's our fill port. This guy right here. Here's our level. This guy. And that's our drain. So we'll open our drain, we'll drain it all out. Then we'll close our drain, we'll open our check port. Then we'll open our fill port, we'll fill it through here until we get some starting to drip out of here. Then we close this, close the top, fill, and you're good. And then we'll check our sub-transmission fluid the same way. That's this dipstick right here. We'll check this the same way that we check any other oil level on just about anything with a dipstick. Okay. Alright, we'll see you later.